This is KGW News at noon.
I should have killed you. I should have killed you. Everybody knows you're alive. Everybody knows you're alive.
Did you hear him there? He said, I should have killed you. That outburst happening just moments ago. Jeremy Christian, convicted of stabbing 3 men on a MAX train, lashed out at one of the witnesses in the case as she addressed him. It was quite a morning. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Brenda Braxton. This happened this morning as Christian was set to be sentenced. KGW's Bryant Clerkley is covering that hearing and joins us now live. Bryant.
That's right, Brenda. Now, Jeremy Christian had been in court since around 9 a.m. this morning, and you saw that outburst. And during this trial, he's had several outbursts like that, and this one was directed at Demetria Hester. Now, she was testifying when Jeremy Christian started shouting at her, calling her names. Demetria Hester has been there at all the hearings in the last 2 years. She says Jeremy Christian assaulted her the day before the MAX stabbing back in May of 2017. Now, we talked to her before this morning's hearing when she was surrounded by a group of people supporting her, and this is what she said.
We've been waiting for this moment. This is 3 years of hard wait to see a white supremacist go to jail for the rest of his life.
Now, back in February, a Multnomah County jury convicted Christian on charges including murder, attempted murder, as well as assault and intimidation. The stabbings happened on the MAX train back in 2017. 2 people died, Ricky Best and Talesian Namke Meche. A third man, Micah Fletcher, survived and was a pivotal witness in the trial. The case drew national attention, in part because of the racial bias Christian shows, aggressively targeting 2 young black women on the train with hate-filled rants. The 3 men had stepped in to defend the women. Christian then attacked them. Now, the minimum sentence he'll face is life in prison with the possibility of parole in 30 years. The maximum sentence he'll face is life in prison without the possibility of parole.
We'll let everybody know what happens. Bryant, thank you so much. Turning now to the coronavirus. Multnomah County is seeing more infections. They hit a record high of 84 on Sunday, and yesterday we saw 17 new cases. Those numbers don't include the effects of the county's Phase 1 reopening on Friday. In the meantime, health officials maintain widespread protests in Portland are not to blame for the increase. The county says only a small number of people who are sick admit they took part in a demonstration. And they don't have to because all information to those contact tracers is voluntary. Health officials say your friends and family are actually the ones most likely to infect you with COVID.
People may be lulled into feeling more at ease, understandably, around people they know well.
While you may be less likely to wear face coverings, etc. with them, those are the people who probably are more likely to infect you because they're going to be closer to you in your personal space, and usually you're going to be interacting with them for a longer period of time.
Multnomah County says contact tracing has reached 80 to 90% of the people infected, but finding everyone those people had contact with is harder. Recently, the county has seen between 9 and 14 people admitted to the hospital each week for COVID-19. The government's top infectious disease expert says the U.S. will be doing more coronavirus testing, even as the president suggests otherwise. Today, President Trump is in Arizona, one of the states seeing a major surge in cases. NBC's Kristen Welker has that story.
This morning, President Trump defending his indoor campaign events, even as 2 more campaign staffers tested positive for coronavirus ahead of another rally today in Phoenix.
Are you potentially putting the lives of Americans at risk by continuing to hold these indoor events? Cases in Arizona are spiking, sir.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Not worried at all, then?
I'm not worried about it. No, not at all. We watch it. We're very careful.
At least 8 members of Mr. Trump's Tulsa Advance team have now tested positive for COVID-19 since Saturday's rally, the same event where the president made this controversial claim about testing.
When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
The White House initially said the president made the comments in jest, but when pressed about it during an interview with the Christian Broadcasting Network,
Was that tongue-in-cheek or
No, it's semi-tongue-in-cheek. I say it all the time. I know some people thought it was tongue-in-cheek. It's unfair. We're doing so much testing.
and while sources close to the Trump campaign say President Trump was furious over the underwhelming crowd in Tulsa, the White House pushing back Monday.
The president was very pleased with the rally. I was with him, and I just have to say these media reports that he was somehow furious on the plane, there is no grounding in fact to that.
Sources close to the campaign also tell NBC News the president is increasingly displeased with his longtime campaign manager, Brad Parscale, who promised a huge turnout. The president asked about any possible shakeups on Monday.
You going to make any changes to your campaign?
We're doing, I think, very well. We just started.
You still trust your campaign manager?
I trust everybody. Yeah, I trust everybody. We're doing very well. I had a lot of the same people in the first campaign.
That was Kristen Welker reporting. Primaries are taking place in Kentucky and New York today after both states had their primaries delayed because of the pandemic. In New York, all eyes are on the race between longtime incumbent Representative Eliot Engel and newcomer Jamal Bowman, who recently surged ahead in the polls. And in Kentucky, Senator Mitch McConnell's Democratic opponent will be decided. Well, today in Atlanta, mourners gathered at the church where MLK once preached to remember Rayshard Brooks. King's daughter was at the funeral and had this to say.
We are here because individuals continue to hide behind badges and trainings and policies and procedures rather than regarding the humanity of others in general and Black lives specifically.
Brooks was killed by police outside a Wendy's restaurant earlier this month. The former officers facing charges have turned themselves in. Garrett Rolfe faces felony murder for shooting Brooks in the back after a struggle over a taser. He's being held without bond. The other officer, Devin Brosnan, is out of jail today. Calls today for the mayor of Estacada to resign after he posted online that he doesn't condone Black Lives Matter vigils. Late this morning, the city council took issue with that, releasing the statement. It says in part, "We value the diversity in our city, including diversity of opinions, and our focus has always been protecting the safety of our citizens who are exercising their First Amendment rights." The mayor has apologized, but some say it's too late. Catherine Cook has the story.
When I saw that, I couldn't just let it pass by.
Tracy is talking about this social media post made by Estacada Mayor Sean Drinkwine on a public forum called Neighborhood Watch Uncensored. It said, "As your mayor of Estacada, I would not and have not condoned these BLM vigils in our community. All city staff and I are working tirelessly to shut these vigils down. Our number one concern is to keep our city safe and free from conflict."
It had said that he does not support the Black Lives Matter vigils in the community. It really sent an outrage out.
Tracy lives in Sandy, but her husband is from Estacada. Together, the couple started the Sandy Stand-Up Movement, an anti-racism organization. They've held a handful of local protests supporting Black lives. Since the mayor's post, they plan to march on Friday evening from Estacada High School to City Hall.
Minority voices need to be heard, and for the mayor to not support that is really hurtful.
I am not a racist. Let me just clarify that as best I can.
During the Estacada City Council meeting Monday night, Mayor Drinkwine apologized for the post, which has since been taken down. He said he was responding to concerns posted on the forum by people worried about violence connected with Black Lives Matter protests. He blamed poor writing skills for how it came across.
I am not a racist, by far. I love my citizens in this city, and I was trying to make things safe so there wouldn't be an altercation, because I was just trying to keep it civil. But in the process, I failed because I am not the best writer. And unfortunately, that worked against me, and now here I sit, apologizing. But again, I am sorry for what I wrote.
In this case, Tracy doesn't think that's enough.
At this point, I do think that a resignation is what eventually needs to happen. If not, then he needs to
be properly educated and re-educated really about what freedom of speech really is, and that he can't take that away from people no matter what if the issue is.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
In the meantime, others aren't happy with Oregon City's mayor. Dan Holliday is now facing a recall. A group filed an official petition against him yesterday, and the Oregonian details some of the complaints. It reports Holliday wrote a post on Nextdoor downplaying the impact of police brutality on Black people. Critics are also questioning his leadership during this pandemic. Back in April, he considered reopening Oregon City businesses despite Governor Brown's stay-at-home order. He didn't follow through on that after the state attorney general sent him a letter. But Oregon City commissioners have ordered an investigation into his business dealings. We've reached out to Mayor Holliday for comment, but so far we have not heard back.